How's it going, everyone? David from dodmedia. Today I decided that I wanted to clean my EASIFRAME because it was getting a little bit dirty from footsteps, footprints, just general dirt, and also there's a lot of condensation that falls in this studio from the roof because it's like a tin roof, corrugated tin roof, and it was looking a little bit manky. So because it's a fabric backdrop, it's in the washing machine right now. But while I'm here, I thought it might be an idea to actually push that frame back against that wall and then get rid of those two stands which are essential for supporting the frame and replace them with two little brackets that stick out from the wall directly so that I can A, regain two heavyweight C-stands, heavy-duty C-stands, which they're not cheap and they are invaluable. And then secondly, just save a lot more space by pushing this all the way to the back of the wall. So that's today's project. Now, as I said, the thing is fabric, which means that quite literally it is in that washing machine getting a nice wash. So let's go ahead while that is getting a wash. Let's go ahead and measure up to see how I can push this frame right back against the wall. So the brackets I've got are these. Two little holes which will go straight into that. That's just an OSB wall, stud wall with OSB boards on it. So I just need to make sure I kind of line it up with the stud frame so that I'm drilling into like thick wood instead of just the panel. And I can push it pretty much all the way back against the wall. Let's see, I'm gonna stick you on this stand here. Oh, well, of course you're following me because active track is on. All right, screwdriver. There we go. There we go. All right, so we've got two mounting points now, ready for the frame to go on. See how this works. All right. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Deconstructing the infinity wall?
No, I'm improving it. Put it on hookies so I can just make it a bit more efficient.
Love it.
Can I just ask you to hold that for a second? Thank you very much. Ah, it's better.
Yeah, you gained all that space.
Right? Way better. Thank you very much. Nice. Stick down my Velcro strip just so it doesn't move around. All right. Now, so you can see just how close to the wall we're getting. That just would not be possible with a light stand. Now what I might do is take this crane, which is actually just a camera crane, which I repurposed with some counterweights to put a light on because it costs 150 quid instead of, the close to £1,000 of what you would pay for an equivalent for studio light. But I might move that over to that side because that's against the wall anyway. That way it's out of the way, there's no big hardware in the way here, and it completely opens up this whole floor here. Now, I have realized something. The wall that's behind there's that blue strip of paint, which is actually where there was a standing desk, which was like an extension of that wooden panel there, which then carried all the way along, which I removed, but it clearly had been painted blue before, and then it was just kind of painted around in white. So when I took the wooden standing desk bit off, there was just still blue behind it. And I suspect what's going to happen is when I'm using a strobe, and it's flashing against there, it's going through that fabric, against the wall, and then bouncing back through the fabric again. What we're going to be seeing is a blue strip across the fabric. So I think what I'm going to need to do is paint a square behind that, just directly onto the wood, so that it is beautifully white, and that way there's zero contamination of color when that strobe is going through the fabric, bouncing off the wall, and then coming back again. I'm also thinking that perhaps here I'm going to need to put something white underneath on the floor, because otherwise we'll have a discrepancy between that shade and that shade shining through the fabric as a harsh line. So if I get some panels to put on the floor that are white, that are brilliant white in fact, then the two will match, and hopefully that light will bounce around in there to hide any kind of line along that seam there. So I shall head to trusty B&Q and see what we can find. But I don't want to paint the floor, because that floor, I need to be able to return it in the state that I had it when I moved in, if when I ever move out of the studio. So I don't want to paint it directly on the floor. So potentially something like what I had in the last studio, which was just these thin wooden panels on the floor. I forget what they're called now, but they're very thin MDF panels that are already coated with a white side on one side. That would be ideal. So I've done a rough measurement, and we shall see what they have. So this is what I'm after, white-faced hardwood panels. But this is not a cost-effective solution. I would need about 8 to 10 of these to cover that surface. So I'm going to look at an option with some low adhesive vinyl instead, and see if I can get something which will adhere to the ground but not make any issues further down the line when it comes to removing it. And also it'd be less slippy, I think, than that. I think the fabric on top of that hardwood would be a little bit of a slipping hazard. So let's see what we can find vinyl-wise. This is a fun little setup. I've got the Pocket 3 mounted on one of the iFootage suction clamps for the car rig. Really straightforward, nice and simple. Wonder how shaky it is. Okay, so it's a few days later. A few things have changed and become apparent in that time. The first one being that I don't actually need anything on the floor, because for some reason the light does not bounce and create a harsh line. It could be because of the curve of the EASIFRAME, I don't know. But in any case, when I have a nice strong light source like the sun or a strobe, it hits the fabric bounces back a nice light, and it doesn't seem to be too much transmittance from the corner behind it, so that's quite good. That means that I don't have to put anything down on the floor. I don't have to worry about cleaning the floor afterwards or removing any kind of adhesives or wooden paneling or anything like that, so ideal. The second thing that became apparent was that having a hook at either end of the EASIFRAME was not quite enough to support the frame. And I was noticing quite a bit of sag down the middle of the frame there, which I think over time would not be great for the frame itself and eventually might bend it. So what I've done, as you can see in there, I have put a third hook along the middle, and that way it is nice and supported. And you look at that, I've literally just washed this, and a little dog came to visit the studio and has put little paw prints all over my clean backdrop. Now, another issue with this being a fabric backdrop is that when you put it in the washing machine, you will get some lint potentially getting stuck on there, static. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's quite a bit along there, which will just be a little bit of a pain in post-production to clear it up. But luckily, got my eye drain. This thing is insane. So I guess most of this video was really much ado about nothing, but trial and error and the process of making mistakes and learning from them is how we improve. And so, this is how I now have more space with my curved backdrop against the wall, without any interference line. And it's kind of prompted me to think a little bit more about the space here and how to use it better and more efficiently. So I like to call that a result. There is a link to the EASIFRAME in the description. This is the extended kit, which is the one that's linked in the description. It's an affiliate link, so if you do choose to buy it using that link, then you'll be supporting this channel. And that's good. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.